Okay, today I'm going to show you how to clean squash blossoms. Okay, this is what they look like. I went and picked my garden. These are just zucchini plants. You can pick some of the blossoms with the little zucchini on and the bigger zucchini because you're going to need to make the cagout pancakes or the zucchini pancakes that we're going to make. You're going to need a little bit of zucchini and the blossoms. The biggest thing today, I want to show you how to clean the blossoms. So you pick the blossom and you basically very carefully just tear away here, and that's it. So you want this, you don't want this, okay? So you're going to discard that. You're going to check inside to make sure that there aren't any bugs in here, okay? And then you're going to give them a quick rinse, and then you're going to drain them, and I'm going to rinse them all real good, but I want to get that initial rinse to make sure that there's no bugs in there. So again, this is the blossom. See how beautiful it is? You can do a lot of things with this. If you don't grow these, you can ask somebody who does have a garden if they would mind giving you some of their blossoms. Most people don't even use them. They just, you know, they don't even pick them. A lot of people don't even know that you can eat them. So, but I like to grow my own so that I have plenty. And then what I do is I prepare them and I blanch them and cook them till they're a little tender, and then I freeze little baggies so that I can have them all winter long, okay? But again, just all you do is you get your blossom and you just carefully tear it away here, and you discard this, and then you clean, check for bugs, and clean this. And in these pancakes that we're going to make, they're so beautiful with this color. You know, this is all chopped up through the pancakes, and they're just, that color is beautiful. They taste really good. So I'll show you more later, but I basically just wanted to show you how to clean the blossoms. Okay? Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to prepare these to be cooked. And you're basically just going to cut them in small pieces like this, the flowers and the zucchini. Just about that small. So they're, because remember, these are going into pancakes, so nice delicate little pancakes. So that's why I like to use these smaller tender zucchini. And then you're just going to add some water to cover, and then you're going to just simmer them till they're tender. About maybe 15 minutes or so, like a low simmer. And then what I do is drain them, and then I put them in Ziploc bags and freeze them for when I'm going to get ready to make my pancakes. But again, just the flowers, you're just going to kind of layer them like this, and then just give them a nice little chop. And as far as like recipe, I kind of eyeball it. This is something that my mother taught me how to make when I was a little girl. So and her mother taught her. So this isn't really a recipe, you know, for exact measurements. But you just kind of, if you know how to make a nice pancake batter consistency, that's what you need. But that's all you do. And then you just cover this with water, and then you simmer it for about 15 minutes. If by chance you don't have enough, you have a lot of blossoms but you don't have a ton of zucchini, you can either buy a zucchini from the farmer's market or the grocery store, anywhere, and you can use these bigger zucchinis. Just the only thing is you're going to want to you know, cut them small. So you would just, you know, cut them up small. But you can then just, you know, give them a little dice like this. But I like to use the little ones, but you can definitely use the larger ones as well. So you're just going to put enough water in to cover the squash blossoms and the squash. And then just put it at a low to medium heat. And then you're just going to simmer it for about 10-15 minutes. You'll check it. You're just going to want the zucchini to be tender. And then you're going to drain that really well, and then you'll have the squash ready to make the pancakes. So to see if they're tender, you can just take one of these little zucchini out and just stick it with a fork, and you can see these are really tender. Okay, so they're done. So we're just going to shut this off and we're going to drain it. So to put the pancakes together, we are going to add the egg and the grated cheese together. And here's one egg. And we're going to whisk that together. I think we're going to use 2 eggs. Okay. Because you want these to be able to hold together real well. We're going to whisk together 2 eggs and about a half a cup of grated cheese. You can buy from the store, you can grate your own. Okay, just kind of mix this together. Okay, and here you have your cooked zucchini and flower blossoms. Okay, and you're going to put those in a bowl. And then you're going to add the egg and the cheese, just like so. Get it all out of there. See how pretty the flowers, how beautiful. My favorite part about these, besides the taste, because they are delicious, is the color in the flowers. The blossoms are so beautiful. And then you're going to add a half a teaspoon of baking powder, like so, to the flour, half a cup of flour, and mix this together. And you can, if you need a little bit of water with this to make a good consistency, you can do that as well. So you're just going to slowly add this in, and then if it's not the consistency, which I can tell this is going to be a little dry, I don't think I'm even going to use quite as much of this. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of purified water, or filtered water. That's looking like a pancake batter, and then I'm going to add some salt and pepper. And I like to use sea salt, and I'm just going to add probably a half a teaspoon of salt. Remember, there's a lot of salt in the grated cheese, and then I'm going to add some fresh ground pepper. I really prefer fresh ground pepper. Some people might like to use the other. You could always set this to have the really fine grind, but I actually really love freshly ground pepper. So it's about maybe a fourth of a teaspoon of pepper to about a half a teaspoon of salt, but you can do it to your liking. And that's about it. That's about the consistency you want. But you see all those beautiful orange and yellow flowers? That's your pancake batter. So I have put some oil, vegetable oil, in a frying pan. You can use olive oil if you'd like. I'm going to measure out some batter and put it in the oil. I like to use this because that way I can get the same size, keep the consistency going. And then I like to flatten it out just a little bit. And I have my pancake turner. You want to keep the oil to about medium heat. You'll know, just like you're going to fry like corn fritters or pancakes, it's the same thing. But that's about the consistency you want. You want them nice little brown, just like this. You can kind of look to see if you can kind of peek it up. You want nice and golden brown. And you're just going to flip them over when they're done on one side. So you're probably cooking them maybe a minute on each side, approximately a minute to 2 minutes, depending on how hot your oil is. You want to make sure that they're cooked all the way through though, because you do have raw egg in there. So that's why you don't want it too hot, because then they'll cook on the outside too fast and not on the inside. So you want that balance there. So if you're not really familiar with cooking, you might need a little more practice with this, but you know, if you're been cooking a while, you'll do fine. So, but that's the consistency. But see how beautiful the little bits of the tender little young zucchini, and you can see the flowers in there. So the cross between the zucchini and the grated cheese and the salt and pepper and egg, it's just a delicious snack. You can serve these as a snack. You can serve these with dinner. They really can be eaten anytime. They can be eaten hot. They can be eaten at room temperature. Cold, not so much, but they actually are okay cold too. But I really prefer them actually at room temperature. They're awesome because you really get the full flavor of them when they're at room temperature. And this one's nice and done. And then you're going to put them on paper towels to get the excess grease off, and we'll measure out another one, and then we'll just flatten it out a little bit. And have room for one more. But these are, my mom calls them cagout pancakes. That's what we've called them. We've had these ever since I was a little girl. We've always had big gardens, and my mom would make these, and we just all loved them when she made them. And her mother and her sisters made them, her brother made them, and it's a cagout pancake. Cagout pancake. Made from zucchini blossoms and zucchini. Like I said, just make sure your zucchini are a little tender. You can also grate your zucchini if you'd like, especially if you have the bigger ones. If you'd like to grate your zucchini, that's perfectly fine. Works just as good. This is how my mom does it, and this is why I do it this way. So, but you can see they're beautiful. Like I said, I just love them. I've taken these to parties and picnics in the summertime, and my friends just love them, and they always ask for the recipes. So actually, this is my first video I've completely made, and this is what I chose to do just because I know that people really like these. So, and everybody's not really familiar with those blossoms, so I wanted to show you how to clean them so that was done properly. So that's it. Okay, everybody, this is the finished product. Okay, so that batter that I made, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Made 8 of those. So you can make them smaller or bigger. Like I said, you can pretty much mess around with the measurements. I'm going to put somewhat of a recipe on the link to the recipe for my Kim's Kitchen page as well. These are the flowers. Try growing them. It's the easiest thing to do. In the spring, you just make little mounds, and we call what's called hilling them, making little mounds and then putting the seeds and growing them. And then when the flowers are, when they just start to open up is the perfect time to pick them. And then you can see you just have this beautiful flower blossom that you can use to cook with, okay? And here's your little zucchini, and we'll try one. They're a little warm, not quite room temperature, but they're warm. This is like ideal time to eat them. But see the beautiful flowers when you open them up, how pretty that is. And They're delicious. The zucchini with the cheese and the salt and pepper, they're awesome. Your friends will love them. Make them and try them. I'll see you next time on Kim's Kitchen.
Cut. Perfect.